You recovered yet? No? That's fine. Don't worry. We're straight back in it here. Vienna Spring Break women's final action. All Czech affair. 3SB trying to go one further than their open side here in the women's division. They're taking on compatriots East Block. Benji Rees alongside Steph Rapazzo, Felix Chardlow on the camera. Beginning on offense, going upwind are East Block. Reigning champions here at VSB. That throws a little bit behind. Chance for 3SB to get an early break. Teresa Mrazova picks up. Swings to Bulanova. Puts that one out in front. Now looking down the line, all the throws sank quite quickly, and it was too hot for Bulanova to handle.
And if you're just joining us, we'll mention again that there is a heavy wind pushing from right to left on your screen, making it very tricky to score into that end zone that will be on the right-hand side.
Yeah, real clash of styles. Styles make fights, they say, in the martial arts world. Ooh. Catching the riser, and now they're on the move quickly, just trying to run through this 3SB defense. That's not going to work though, because a hand in there knocks it to the floor. Bulanova putting it out into space. The layout comes, but it won't get there. Valiant attempt regardless though from Teresa Mrazova.
Yeah, you mentioned the clash of styles. We're going to talk about that a lot over the course of this game, I think, Benji. We'll talk about what we're seeing here first from East Block's O-line, how they play their motion offense. They chip away short passes, lots of looks to any open player, versus what 3SB will do with their O-lines, and that is essentially to stretch the field and shoot to kill from anywhere. So we'll keep our eye on that as we go. 3SB getting another chance here on the first point of the game.
And they're going to chance their arm as well, putting air underneath it, trying to dominate the deep space they do, and it's popped in for the score. 3SB with a break on the game's first point to take the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, break on the first point, but a score in the downwind end zone is a break. And we imagine, won the toss and selected the end and not who got the disc first. But it will be a game of who can get the first upwind break. The downwind break came early. Now it'll be downwind attacking. We imagine we're going to see a few scores down that way. But what we imagine is not often the way these games go. We can give some predictive nature to it based on the weather, based on what we've seen all day. But of course, these games don't go to plan all too often at all. There's so much that can happen, and as any of us who just watched that open final know, things can get twisted up at any moment of the game here. Bench, East Block have kind of been top of the block in the Czech Republic for the last couple of years now. They've taken the throne seemingly from 3SB. Toshnerova sisters were kind of the top two players in 3SB. They were gone since the pandemic, pregnancy, child rearing, motherhood. They're back now. Is this a well-balanced battle at the top of the Czech women's scene now? Is this when Tiger came back and the Nike ad came out for poor Phil Mickelson and company?
I'll tell you what, let's find out. Certainly on paper it promises to be close, with these two sides both undefeated so far this weekend. And as this is the first European action for this season, you know, undefeated as we know them in 2024. Janska threading it through towards the far side. Just happy to work the spaces, playing around the back. Continue getting those crashes from behind, as you mentioned, Steph, chiseling away through the front four of that defense. The little offload isn't there though, so they'll take the swing around that creates to Zitova. Hadacheva on this sideline, the elder of the two Hadova sisters. The younger had a bit of a nasty collision in the previous game, and I'm not sure she'll be suiting up for this one.
So no cleats on bench. Doesn't look like it.
That one just about lofted over. Kopfova. Now to Zisova. Sorry, Lihotska. That one, a lot of air underneath it. It's a tricky track towards the far side. And they'll force you to make so many passes and then pounce on the errors. Rahel Toshnarova picks up usually with one thing in mind, and it's putting some air underneath it. That one, thought she had a good beat on it, but it just bladed and evaded Vaisova. Lihotska wanted the return to Zitova, but those two not on the same page. Toshnarova again gunning it into the wind. This time Lihotska all over it. I wonder at what point East Bloc change their strategy and maybe try and play some more territorial warfare as well. That might be a good opportunity, but no, it's going through the backfield and unfortunately through the arms of Hadova, giving 3SB the short field they wanted. Just outside the end zone, oh my word, did she keep it off the grass?
My initial thought was yes, it did stay up. I want to have another look though, of course. I mean, it was off the grass up until her hand. Did it touch that? I don't think so. I think she kept her hand under it, clapped. They're going to call it a turnover there on the field.
My icing is down. Yes, the hand was under it, but I don't think I think she used the floor to help establish control.
Yeah, fair. I think that was a very close call no matter what.
It was certainly a close call either way. There's the blading throw leading Hodacheva into space. She's going for another deep shot, and it wasn't far away from Lihotska, but an inch or a mile, it matters the same if you don't get there.
Yeah, I mean, a mile's, as we said earlier, a mile's a little bit better because that means it's overthrown rather than undercooked in this stage.
You're forcing your opponent to go further.
And a little bit of territory is not going to hurt, forcing against the counter strike going upwind.
Swung over towards the far sideline from one sister to the other. Rahel finds Sarah. Defender flashes in, doesn't get there. Now put deep, there's two receivers over the first. The second could get fingertips to it, but nothing more.
Great backhand throw from Sarah Toshnarova. Maybe one of the best we've seen, well, certainly in this game going up that wind, but all day perhaps. It was a great throw from that far sideline.
There's a floater that 3SB gobble up. This defense is so stifling, and into the end zone, just plucking it nonchalantly away. Dominika Kralikova makes it 2-0 to 3SB. That's the first upwinder as well. And they are showing that they are not going down quietly.
No, 3SB, I was kind of
You've
afraid.
been very bullish on them, Steph.
I have. I think that they are going to be coming in and maybe push it around that veteran savvy a little bit. They are the elder statespersons in this game. They have been more comfortable at the top of Czech Ultimate for a lot longer, and the changing of the guard from teams didn't include all of the personnel. And I think having those Toshnarova sisters back after having the team mature without them, and that means struggle without them, but maturing in their own right, getting those two talismen back, taliswomen back at the same time, and having these conditions be favorable to the 3SB game and the Toshnarova sisters specifically, I think they have an advantage here, and I have this feeling that they're going to take one and put an imprint on the rivalry between these two teams.
The motion there from Svetova to where she wants that support. Finds the thread through. Hladikova has it back in her hands, collecting the offload from Krzyslova. Just continually moving the disc, almost metronomic in the tempo. Nothing too fancy, just quick, short, accurate. Khrushakova on the end zone line with Lepshi. Khrushakova again. FC wants the force through. That's a lovely little thread. Just seeing that soft spot, waiting for the hole to open and punching it in. East Block on the board.
Yeah, big upwind hold there for East Block, playing their style, sticking to it. All things I said last point. East Block are not going to get pushed out of here. I think, if anything, they might get really strong-handed and muscled out of here, but they're not going to curl up and let 3SB take anything away with these. They're here to play, and they are a great team, quarterfinalists at EUCF, defending champs here at VSB from 2023, and they show you how that offense can work as they chip their way all the way upfield to put in an upwinder.
East Block will be absolutely chomping at the bit to get it back in downwind as well, bring the game level, although there would still be a breakdown. The pull then from Hadacheva fielded. Two Toshnyarovas in the backfield. That one's undercooked. And the 3SB stifling, throttling zone defense again. Lihotska just about keeps that one up. The offhand that they are so potent at possessing to Hodacheva. Looking very muddy. What a find on this near sideline.
Indeed.
There's the air underneath it towards the end zone. No one able to reel in.
Yeah, great find, as you said. The throw to score was lofted up a little bit too casually, perhaps. Again, it's tough to call anything casual contending against this wind. It's harder to throw upwind, but the touch required, especially in something floaty, for these downwind ones, get meddled and messed with just the same. Well, not just the same, but in some similar fashion.
All sorts of air underneath it. Slapped with two hands dismissively to the floor by Vishkova. Hadova wanted to give it back, but couldn't. Toshnyarová with a quick pickup. That is one similarity both of these sides have, is that they do act quickly after the turn. Pressure applied, but not enough pressure, thanks to the backup from Anna Dvorakova. That one blades early out of the hands, and the receiver doesn't get a chance, but it will force East Block to start from their own end zone line.
Yeah, tricky place to play from, even with the wind at your back. High pressure on, knowing that if, again, East Block play their preferred game, any error there gives a chance to give up. The one thing you don't want to give up in this game is the upwind breaks. They do get out of there.
Over the top, but Lihotska can't get it. Hadova looking to get in position on the mark. Everyone in front of Toshnyarová. Another expert read there, Sartoriasova. The transition maybe into an end zone set. Trying to put it out in front. Sauro Nemechkova, Toshnyarová reels it in. 3SB with a 2-point lead, 3-1. And 3SB, this is kind of what they do. It's never going to necessarily be the most fluid team, but they will grind it out. They give themselves so many opportunities with red-hot defense. And they can make, well, they make more of them count than they need to.
Yeah, the upwind break has come early in this one. I am, again, not at all going to count out East Block. They are far too good of a team, but a early advantage has certainly gone the way of 3SB, with that one. The first break I didn't count so much, the downwind, but that one I do very much.
Yeah, both teams scoring in the upwind end zone for the last 3 points. Wind picking up again. Not as consistent as it has been at points this weekend, but still fierce when it wants to be. And if anything, that can be more treacherous because sometimes it'll catch you off guard. Just popping it through. Slowly matriculating it down the field. That's got air underneath it, and that one ruthlessly snatched away. Underneath in the hands of Bulanova. Air underneath it towards the end zone. Tluster has it, and Tluster intercepts. I want you to keep an eye on Christina Tluster for this point because, well, more importantly, I think look at what they're doing against her defensively. Although we might not get a chance there as a bit of a miscommunication. It slips through Shakova's hands. Inside, fired across the field. The layout saves and secures for another 3SB break.
Wow, everything going right for the 3S Beauties. Nothing for East Block. Even that last turnover there, both went up. You said a miscommunication slipped through the hands, but really one was waiting for the other, and the communication not good enough to insist that one just go up and take it. And the next throw a little too far perhaps, but the play is made for those 3S Beauties in pink. Here's another look as the throw just in front, but happy to splay the body to the ground and collect that goal for the ladies in pink.
Yeah, defensively 3SB, we know we're going to employ their zone. It's been their trademark for about as long as I've known them. But interestingly, they were using an and one, an assassin there, having Bulanova, I think, marking up tightly, or at least always paying close attention to and covering Christina Tluster, I think to try and force her away from the disc.
Yeah, I will keep my eye on that as well. Now that you've brought it up, I want to see how they do. I think any team trying to stop the East Block attack would be smart to certainly get their best matchups for speed on Tluster, but if they could have a team strategy that negates what she can do too, of course, smart idea. There's that 1-3-2-1 bench.
Swinging around the back, trying to get movement past that front line. It's looking a little static though. Hadacheva trying to crash through, wind picking up, still rising as well, so hey, why not put air underneath it? Wasn't to be in the end. Dvořáková was the closest receiver, but at least they got the field position.
Yeah, I think that was the only available option at that stage of the stall count. She had spun around, very good crashing from the fence or the front row of the zone. As a couple options cut through the area, they shut down those options, and the only remaining reasonable option was to pipe it and play the territory.
Low, and the layout came very close, but not quite close enough from Sataryasova. Lihotzka, no time like the present, she thinks, going to go for it herself. She can't connect with Koptova. SB going back to work offensively, threading it through that front line and just enough traffic to prevent it going into Sartoriusova's hands. Hadacheva picks up. 3SB, nearly got a short field as that throw was low from Zitova, but able to be collected. Deep look once again. Dvořáková, can she track it? Not quite.
Not too far off this time. A Great save by Hadova to keep that one off the ground. The short field would have been very dangerous as is to just give them the disc back the way they're playing.
These throws are coming out with quite a lot of angle on them. I think maybe just put them a bit flatter, and yes, they'll hang, but probably give yourself a bit better chance of at least having a go at it. Rahel Toshnerova picks up. 3SB work it towards the far sideline. Already just shy of midfield. And they cross the halfway mark. Hitting their matchups well. Sartoriusova steps and finds Toshnerova in the backfield. Toshnerova guns it with the backhand blade. And 3SB, they will throw themselves after everything.
Yeah, they're going for it, checking their body around. They're ready for these shots to come from anywhere and will do whatever it takes to get near or under.
Pressuring that one, Klakova, as she prevents Hadova from getting underneath it. But the throw back the other way pops up. And now Hadova tied on this sideline. Hodacheva clears deep and the centering pass skims off the turf. Swinging with Kralikova. Sartoriusova back to Toshnerova. Now Klakova. Just shy of the end zone, back to Klaskova. Upline, Sada Toshnerova is making a real nuisance of herself, especially when it comes to being a finisher. Keeps getting on the score sheet. 3SB now up 5-1.
Wow, Benz, they are pouring it on. And East Block are spinning for answers right now. They may well have to change what their natural style is. This is the adaptability we've spoken about before. When you get very dialed into one style of play, can you adapt when the opponent or conditions are working against you?
Well, this is interesting to me because I think one of the things that 3SB do really well is they force you to play their style of game. East Block generally are good at it, but especially with the conditions, this suits 3SB down to the ground. They want to draw out points with these tough zone defenses, have to make you constantly switched on, and it's very mentally fatiguing, and on the turn they'll go quickly as well. Never give you time to settle and time to rest. That ball lands out of bounds, and East Block will brick it. We've talked at other points on this stream this weekend about how Valerio Iano has come over to I said Iano, didn't I? Yanni.
Yeah.
Valerio Yanni has come over to coach East Block this season, but he's not going to be at every tournament with them, and he's not here this weekend. My brain is definitely in Sunday mode now.
Oh, it's Sunday, Bench. It is Sunday. Championship Sunday.
You're damn right, Steph. Khrushchakova. Oh, the lefty pops up and rises, and there's no one there to collect it on the second attempt. Bulanova. Scorching blade deep over everybody.
You surprised?
A little.
I'm not.
I'm not either, no. Masters of the territorial style of Ultimate, I think, 3SB.
Somebody's written 3SB playing for the ranking points here, but I don't think that's possible. Both teams would need to, and East Block have not nominated to be playing for their rankings here, have they, Benji?
I'd have to double check.
I'll try.
There's the high release over the top and into the end zone. 3SB are running away with this one, 6-1 now.
Yeah, they certainly are running away with it. I mean, tough to predict this, that 3SB were going to come out and push them around. Nobody would have said that at the start of this game. Oh, wait. Some teams did. Somebody did say that. I can't remember who it was. Do you remember who it was, Benji?
No, beats me. Yeah, 3SB, they have nominated their games. East Block, certainly they've not played any EUCS games yet this weekend, whether that's because their opponents are not in the series, or whether it's because they themselves have opted out this weekend. I'm not sure.
I think,
but either it counts for both of them or it counts for neither of them, the way it works.
right. Yeah, but I don't believe that they have nominated. I'm not sure. I'm saying the same thing you are. None of their games have the EUCS
and that would lead you to believe that.
And I think it's because they have not nominated.
Especially because they've played other EUCS teams.
Yeah.
So while yes, this game is not going to get put into the algorithm, doesn't mean there's not still a lot of pride at stake. You know, you want to get those local bragging rights. You want to, of course, win the trophy, defend the trophy if you're East Block here. And there's always personal pride at stake whenever you take the field.
Yeah.
That cannot be understated. That is a roaster. Should be caught up to, is caught up to. Good hustle and pursuit there from Dvorakova. Trying to hit the middle space, but I floated up there too long, and Lysova read that one all day. They make it so tough to hit those intermediate spaces. Toshnerova deep into the arms of Sartoriasova with the wind dying amid. It's playing right into 3SB's long game strategy, and 3SB, this is a domination. 7-1, Steph.
Just putting it on and twisting the screws right now. They have their number. They are in their head, setting up camp in their head and really nailing in the spikes. They're not going anywhere by the sounds of this. This would be a incredible show of mental strength for East Block to be able to dig themselves out of this game, out of this deficit that they're in this game.
Yeah, it's been commanding so far from 3SB. Bear in mind that the game started late and it's already 7-1. I think shows kind of the scope of ability that 3SB are putting, and this shouldn't really be a surprise because we know how good they can be when they're in full flow. You know, they were in the Windmill final a couple of years ago, perennial Europe top 8 finisher and semi-final challenger, and there's so much depth around the top of the women's division at the moment. We absolutely should be adding 3SB to that conversation if we weren't already.
I don't think we were after last season, and I think this game and this tournament is showing you that, yeah, they're back to at least be considered in that conversation. And this game isn't over, but just the way it started is leading us to believe that they are here again in 2024.
No, the Flamingos are fierce, and they're using their stature downfield to very good effect, getting lots of big blocks. Another one there, low, superb layout coming back towards it. That's so tricky, but expertly done by Marie Volkova. Now air underneath it once more. What a snag with the left hand, making it look easy. 8-1, 3SB lead at half. And I know you were very buoyant on their chances, but I'm not sure even you saw this coming.
No, you're right. I did not think it was going to be a steamrolling. Volkova, as you said, that is a very difficult, charging the disc and going horizontal, leaving your feet, taking it to hands, then steps up and does this. Like,
wasn't there a thing called conservation of greatness that said that you weren't supposed to do this thing?
Oh my God. And then the grab at the other end, I'm not sure if she's a lefty or not, but watching it going away from the body, get it with the left hand on the wrong side of your body, hooking the thumb. Unbelievable stuff by 3SB. half taken, 8-1, scorching pace, 36 minutes by the time it was taken, and only 1 against. And now Toshnerova sending the disc the other way because they're going to get the disc back to start this half.
Yeah, this is the tougher direction to go, but the wind has mercifully somewhat eased off. As I say that, obviously it gusts a little bit more, but it's certainly not the constant force field that it seemed to be, protecting that upwind end zone at times this weekend. Huge mental test here for 3SB. And especially for East Block, because East Block are in a huge hole here, and it will take such depth and strength of character to fight their way back in this one. Sara Nemechkova Toshnerova. Here's Yuli Weissova. Rahel Toshnerova looks deep again, and wow, the defender came in and still focus maintained to make the catch. They've just got these deep puts dialed in right now. But they might get into a bit of a jam here, looking to blade it beyond the defense, and everything 3SB touches turns, well, to a particularly pink shade of gold here.
No jam, all marmalade. They just keep scoring and pouring it on, bench. It is the 3SB show out there, and East Block seemed to only be getting in the way from time to time. They have dropped heads, the body language, they danced their way into here, but I don't think they're going to be dancing their way out unless there is a miraculous surge of energy that comes their way to carry this necessity for momentum, for momentous change from what we're seeing out there. 3SB look unstoppable, and we see in the chat people talking about full rosters, whole rosters. Sure, they are carrying more young players. We talked to Kristina Slusta before, well, not this game specifically, but at the start of the day and yesterday, and they are blooding in a few juniors at this tournament, but it is still a large part of the team that they will carry and into the EU series. And this, hopefully, if nothing else, this will become a lesson as Slusta about to get going into what she does best, and then a turnover again, Benji.
Another surprise to see 3SB stretch it on the turn, but that one definitely overcooked from Teresa Mrazova. Probably could come out medium rare, and it came out, I think, pretty well done. Slow pickup then necessitated from East Block as it goes out the back of the end zone. The slow march up. 3SBs just destructive, dismissive zone defense already in position. East Block going nowhere at the moment. Maybe they can get a little bit of dynamism through. Once they start getting the disc moving, they are tough to stop. That's a little bit of a floater, but Talista backs it up. The smoothest thrower and goer in Ultimate at the moment is Talista. She'll draw you in and then burn past you.
They are really collapsing on Slusta in the middle. She's been bumped into at least 3 times in this sequence.
But if you keep an eye there, it is Kristina Bulanova, who has always got eyes on Talista. Whatever happens, she is not letting her go. And that one forced through did find Khrushcheva, but low to the ground. It just spins off her fingertips. Been that sort of game for East Block. Out in front, into space, too far out in front.
East Block will try their hand again. They are getting some movement, but the pass count required too much, and still the elements will affect one of them as the pass count mounts.
Still in their own end zone right now, low. Khrushcheva as well to get underneath it. There is still wind, but if you want an indication of what's going on right now, I've not had to stand as a tent pole this entire game. That throw picked off, not quite in the end zone for the Callahan, but just on the door. and punched in with the very first pass. 3SB into double figures already, 10-1, and it's getting late very early.
It is indeed. The body language out there again in blue is deflated. They are having some extended conversations on the field in between points here, especially at the end of that last point. So not sure what the conversations are surrounding. Perhaps how many are in on the disc in the tight spaces around the zone. We have mentioned that they are crashing aggressively, taking away lanes immediately in front of the thrower when they're trying to get their zone offense going. And imagine if nothing else, I wonder if Coach Valerio Ianni's watching live or if he'll watch this one back, but I'm sure he's going to have a full notepad by the end of this one after seeing what 3SB are able to do.
Well, the great thing, Steph, is that this game and every game from Vienna Spring Break this weekend and from Tom's Tourney next weekend will be live and available for free on ULTI.TV's YouTube channel for posterity. So if that's something you want to get behind, like, share, subscribe, you know all the good stuff. And check out our Patreon as well, patreon.com/ULTI.TV.
Nothing but good ideas out of Benji, like always.
Help you bring as much Ultimate as possible. And this zone defense has proven to be a very good idea. It's 3SB's trademark, and they've not needed to change it here so far. That deep shot's going to blade early, but they've always got eyes on the throwers, and they're always ready to adjust. So even if they're not executed perhaps as crisply as they would want, there's always players there. Sera Nemeshkova, Toshnerova now goes downfield. Weissova, can she find the way through, or just about? Dragging towards the open side, and the bounce back there from the Eurostar, Sera Nemeshkova Toshnerova, 11-1, a 10-point lead. This is, I mean,
what wind is kind of what I'm thinking. You talk about this wind that's been back and forth. It's not affecting the team in pink. 3SB go end zone to the left, end zone to the right, any which way they want right now. They're taking everything available on the field with consistency, time and time again. If only somebody had predicted this.
You underestimate the Flamingo at your peril.
Thanks again to everybody in the chats. Love that you keep on providing input, helping each other out with some rules. Yes, the halftime, it's a short halftime break here, as mentioned in the chats, but they do a mirror half, so basically the opposite starting sequence of the start of the game, and that's what we did see a few points ago.
Majerova back to Shvetsova. Vladikova. Now Lepshi on this near side, trying to see if they can force through the front line, the teeth of the defense. Bulanova again, tasked with shuttling and throttling Kristina Talista. It's a really clever defensive adjustment, and full credit, I think, goes to the 3SB Brain Trust for finding a way to minimize Talista's impact in this game. Lovely little foible from their defense. You can say what you want about 3SB, and it might not necessarily be the most aesthetic style of Ultimate at points, but there's no doubt that the intellectualism and the thinking behind it is more than put on solid ground. High, over the top, towards the back of the end zone and through the back of the end zone. No one really got a shot on that one, but again, it's about being oppressive with the field position, continually pinning in East Block D.
Pinning indeed, and I'm just looking back at the story, I did mention the Tiger Woods ad in '09. He was gone at the end of '07 and for whatever reason out of golf. And when he came back, Nike did make that ad, which was basically an ad saying sorry to all the people who had been winning while he was gone. Phil Mickelson, Vijay Singh, a few others. And that sorry, Tiger's back. And I really do get this feeling with the Toshtis back in town. Of course, the Toshtis being the Toshnerova sisters, Rahel and Sara.
Well, I think you can probably hear that what the 3SB Open side want to see, with East Block again starting from their own end zone line.
Somebody's name.
Swing around. Mayarova goes back central to Thrushakova. There is still lots to take from this game for East Block, even though it hasn't gone their way so far. Maybe you're getting players who are, you know, slightly less experienced. You're getting them important game time. You're getting them important touches against a really high-quality opponent. And that will probably stand you in good stead in the long run, even if that might be tough to see at times in the moment. East Block as well. They're sticking to their philosophy. They know who they are. They know what they're about. And it would be so easy to just get drawn into the 3SB game plan of, okay, well, we'll just pick it up and we'll look deep every time as well. But they know what they want to do, and now they found it through, they can start going with a little bit of pace. Put in the deep shots. Lister is going to track it. Oh, it's off her hand and out of the side of the end zone. What a rarity that is.
Most certainly a rarity, but in this game, it is just a microcosm of what's been going on, and that is nothing going right for the Czech side. East Block, they're both Czech sides.
Three SB then.
And everything going right if you're in pink.
I mean, they have more than committed to everything. A beautiful deep shot from Bulanova, who is, you know, showing we are a deep team. Everyone on this team is more than capable of doing everything. Bulanova, she's been so good as the assassin in that zone, just keeping Lister in handcuffs. She's put in big bids, and she's done it with the disc as well. Been super impressive that time on a rope to Marie Volkova for 12-1.
Wow, 12-1, Benji. That is a scoreline. Even I, as much as I did say I foresaw victory coming to 3SB, I did not see anything close to this kind of a margin. As we see a timeout called by East Block, they're going to have plenty to talk about while they circle up.
Yeah, 3SB closing this one out here. Women's final action from Vienna Spring Break. 3SB leading their compatriots East Block 12-1.
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Wherever you are, at home, at the venue, on the go, make sure you're getting involved with ULTI.TV, bringing Ultimate to the people. On the YouTube, like, share, subscribe, get involved on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the stuff I'm too old to understand now. And patreon.com/ULTI.TV to help us cover as much Ultimate as possible. We've had a wonderful weekend here at Vienna Spring Break, as have 3SB 12-1, Steph. Benji Reese, Steph Rapazzo on comms, Felix Chardlow, the one-man wrecking crew on production. That sounds disparaging. I meant that as a compliment. He's an absolute monster. He's brilliant.
Yes, wrecking in the positive sense.
Exactly. Like Wreck-It Ralph. People like that, right?
Yeah,
I never saw it.
Me either. I think I know what you're talking about. It's a film with animation and a muscle man, but I don't know much more than that.
Toshnero with the backhand pull. Rolling and skipping across the turf here. Going to curl back towards the end zone. Picked up by Liotska. It sank a little bit, but was caught.
Did not much rotation on it with a major wobble. Great hands by Hadova to keep that one up.
Didn't want to put it that time, but sold the defender, and now they can get off to the races. Here's the jailbreak. Playing the homebody, 1-2, 1-2, just outside the end zone. Would be big for East Block to finally stop that scoring skid, as 3SB have pulled away from them in a hurry. But they've put the clamps back on now. The vice applied. Hadova looking into the backfield, not really seeing much. Still rising. Can she get it past that very active force? She can. Hadacheva going backwards to Kopfova. Into the center, and 3SB get the turn.
Another big turn. Sada Toshnadova gets her left hand in there, knocks it away, and
that one well smothered by Hadova. She's now looking long. Defender gonna be trailing, but unfortunately Hadacheva couldn't track it. 3SB on the last position did so good. You know, the jailbreak came, but they were able to put the throttle on it, slow them down and get the turn, and then East Block thinking we might have an opportunity here before 3SB are ready. They do like to play quickly in transition. Was a decent enough attempt, but just too much for Hadacheva. Rahel Toshnadova, this time just taking the open underneath option. Is she feeling all right? Pops up, but there's always backup for 3SB because they've always got eyes on the thrower. They always know when it's going, how it's going, so they're always in position for it. There's just that trust. It's a lot easier to chance your arm with the disc when you know that there's going to be players there to get on the end of it. Sera Nemechkova, Toshnadova. Towards the sideline, Dvorakova doesn't see a way through. Goes backwards to Sartoriasova, and now Dvorakova once more. Squeezing it down the line, just outside the end zone. Pivoting across and in. Sartoriasova brings 3SB within 2 of victory. Not enough can be said about just how good 3SB have been in this game. Yes, we talked about it's not necessarily East Block at full strength, but they've beat everyone else in the competition and beat them relatively comfortably. 3SB have just been a cut above in this game.
A cut above, I think a point to prove, and whether you want to classify this as a rivalry, if you want to declassify it as not a de facto Czech championship because they're not at full strength, there is a point to be proven, most certainly for 3SB, after knowing that their team is now being considered on an intercontinental level as the next best Czech team, and this is their first chance they've had to prove it this year with their revamped incarnation of their team, and boy oh boy are they putting it on display the first time they've had the opportunity to.
There's been such a purpose about what they're doing out there this game and across the weekend, as we streamed their quarterfinal yesterday afternoon. Zipped through in that characteristic East Block style. Kryzhakova has it go through her hands. East Block, they just can't seem to get the rub of the green out there. Bulanova goes low. That one well read by Lepshi. Just had a beat on what the thrower wanted the entire way. Nice through to Koplishkova. Pops it off there. Shvetsova. Again, utilizing these short, quick passes. And they're just trying to get that front line to just clamp in a little bit too tightly. And then run the jailbreak past them. Plister escapes Bulanova's clutches. 1-2, 1-2. Always on the move when she throws, never static.
Always on the move.
Thanks, Dom. Low, well adjusted. Krzysztofa. Now, in the hands of Hladíková. Surveying the options. Couple of meters out, not much more. But it's been so tough just to get it over that final plane here. Hroshakova. And they're just staying in position there, right on that end zone line, saying you are not coming through us. Yeah, maybe you can go over us, but you are not coming through the front door. You'll have to sneak in around the back while we're not looking. And that's what Shvetsova's trying to threaten. Krzysztofa. Hladíková, can they find their way through? It's only one more pass that will do it. It doesn't even need to be an expansive one, but they're just refusing to let them in. The door fully closed. Tried the jump in. I don't think she'd taken off by the time she caught that.
Nor did I.
And I think she agrees in the end. Calista collecting the pop-off. Can she find a way through? No!
Oh, goodness. There is really nothing that will go right for East Block today.
It cannot come closer than that. And Bulanova only has one thing in mind, getting it deep. Calista picks it off. Wanted the quick one. Now can she get it back? As they're already back to midfield. Koplishkova to Lepshi. Things a little bit more spread out downfield. Nice reel in under tight pressure. Shooting for the end zone, it's floating. Can they track it? It's in for the end zone for the score. The crowd goes wild. There's such groundswell of support here for East Block. It's been a tough game for them. But finally they snap that domineering 3SB run. Still way behind in this game, but that's a lovely moment for them. Without wanting to sound patronising, it's always nice when there's a crowd behind you.
They've just doubled their output with that one. 13-2. Again, everything has gone so against them. It has come as such a treat for them and the crowd to get that goal, especially after it being squandered only moments earlier. It's gone back and forth. East Block have not given up, but they are playing with deflated hopes for sure. They're doing what they can. This will be a great lesson for them in, hopefully building some deep-seated mental strength. And remembering the feelings that come with this will be a big part of kind of what not to do when you get behind early. And finding different ways, maybe they're not calling lines, maybe they're not, doing everything in a play to win. They are here to get some experience. But after going undefeated through a tournament, this is a feeling, and having this come at the hands of compatriots, it's going to be a taste that will stick in their mouth for quite some time and hopefully build character.
We talked about the strength and depth at the top of the women's division, not just in that there's so many good teams now, but also within your roster. You need to have, not just a really good 7, a really good 14. Everyone on the roster needs to be strong and able to contribute, and we've seen that this game from 3SB. And East Block trying to just develop that for the future as Rahel Toshneva pivots around for the backhand, and that encapsulates 3SB in a nutshell, that even when there's overthrows, there's always someone in behind.
So the situation here, of course, caught simultaneously. The rule would dictate that it goes to the offense. In that case, it would go to 3SB. Hadova is, I would imagine, arguing that she felt she had got her hand on that disc seconds or fractions of a second earlier, but clearly earlier than the defender. Here's another look. I think that is correct. I think the defender got it first. I don't know if they're going to want to see on the screen. They're still working it out. It is now just memory.
Yeah, there are players behind that end zone who might have an opinion they wish to proffer. They've got their hands up for it, signaling that, you know, we think we've got a good look at it and we have an opinion if they're called upon. But of course, if they're not called upon, then that comes to nothing.
Ask us. Let us be involved in this game.
I have no dog or wolf or flamingo in this fight. I think they're going to say that this was, to, you know, sound glib about it, an East block. And so East block will get it to the front of the end zone. Good discussions, productive. East block did get there first, and the deep shot is going. It's still going, and so much juice on it. It's going to eventually overshoot everyone and land just shy of the end zone. But that is the, that is playing the field position game there, thinking, hey, maybe Melik Hallara can bring it in, but if not, at least we're down the other end of the pitch. And that one again, Hadova being a real defensive menace. Got the last one and gets this one as well. With a lot less debate about it too. Lihodska up, elevates. Hadova for the break into the end zone using the offhand backhand.
I mean, this is great, but I've never seen a team score 12 in a row. Wait, have I seen a team score 12 unanswered to come from behind? Yes, I have. But
have you?
Yes.
When? Where?
At Elite Invite in Bologna when Clapham were down. A different scoreline, but they did. Clapham were down to
Ranelagh, right?
12 to... or 9-1 or something like this, 9-2.
So not 12.
No, they did score 12 in a row.
Oh.
They didn't need all 12 of them. They scored 12 and beat them by about 3, I believe was the case. So it has been done.
Still a really tough ask though. But credit for East Block, because you mentioned that, you know, you need to have that mental fortitude. You need to have the ability for everyone on the roster to make plays and contribute. Hadova being very big defensively and getting the assist of Dvorakova as well, as 3SB picking up 2 away from the win here, just inside their own half. Mrazova. Scanning for options downfield, takes the reset back instead. All the gamble from Shvetsova doesn't get there, and she hustles back into position. There's a bit of air underneath it. Flashakova should have that one all day, and she does. Catches as well, just to make sure. You know we like that.
Catch your D's.
Plister. East Block, again, big pump faking, trying to find a way through. Plister being watched like a hawk by Bulanova.
Assassination defense on number 26 all game long.
And somehow they thrown it through to her anyway. Did not think there was a window there, but that time there wasn't. The layout from Bulanova makes itself big, splays those arms, and gets the block. Coming from the backside, maybe a little bit unsighted. That one has absolute gas behind it. Nitrous oxide in the put, and unfortunately, too much. As Felix gets RT with the colour shots. We are right in the shadow of the flight path for Vienna Airport here.
Yeah, those planes have been crossing over all weekend long. It's fun to watch the planes go by, Benji. So Ted Bouta, he reckons the comeback's on.
I would like to see it. What a story that would be. 3SB, however, under no such inclinations. Bulanova zinging the blade. Oh, it's tipped as their backup, not this time.
Shockingly.
You could just see how, off the tip, it just really ratcheted up in speed. Shvetsova. They're trying to get that dynamism from behind. But the risk when you have so many players close in is that the defenders are there as well. And in and out of the hands, drops have plagued East Block a little bit in this contest. Mrazova looking down the sideline.
Careful.
Just struggling to find their range a little at this point. But the Flamingo always keen to spread its wings. Nice little thread through there, trying to keep the energy high for East Block, and credit to them, they have done that. Stuck to their guns, even if it has had them unstuck at opportunities. Crashing through as they chisel and slowly matriculate their way down the field. But that will put a stop to it. Bulanova picked it up and she clearly wanted the quick big shot, but it wasn't there. Mrazova. Back to Bulanova. Finds the inside through Volkova. Airing it out. Skyscraping blade to the back of the end zone. Tracked down superbly. And 3SB are one away from the Vienna Spring Break title.
Looking very strong as they do it. The zone they keep putting on to East Block, they get stuck staring into the jaws of it. We wondered the other day, Benji, if a flamingo did indeed have a jaw and a mandible or beaked animals, birds, and I just had a quick Google. They do have mandibles, so they are indeed looking into the jaws of that flamingo, and those jaws are snapping away, taking the potential out of their comeback 1 point at a time. And now, with only 1 point remaining, the potential for anything of the sort is becoming more bleak than ever.
Still huge support for East Block here in the stadium. The crowd always loves a comeback, always loves an underdog, even if it is, well, the bar shut. Last orders is long since gone, and it's been closed down and sold off to industrial developers. Padova. Oh, that one's gonna spiral over, but Badacheva tracks well. Down in the sideline, just a little toe up just to make sure she's in. Everyone is so close there. How's Hanover going to find a way through? By putting a bit of air underneath it. Two defenders there, a big slap away from 3SB. will ensure the job gets done. The talismanic Toshnarova sisters in the backfield. Rahel will pick up. Striding purposefully towards the disc and now back towards the front line of that end zone. Unleashes the cannon, air underneath it. A few players there, good communication. The next pass goes to Weissova. Now, Lomechkova, Toshnarova. Looking to try and find a way of getting it off the line. Ooh, the blade slung across the field. That's a really tricksy grab there by Ivana Sotoriasova. Dvorzhakova curling it around. In the red zone now on the brink of victory. Doesn't like the inside, the around, takes the inside instead. And it wasn't there, not that time.
No, that time Rahel directing traffic did have a cut that was seemingly open, but really wanted to go over that inside for whatever reason.
The shot roaring deep, and I think actually if Lihotzka continues in a straight line from the off, she might be able to get that, but I think she just gets sucked in a little bit. And 3SB in no rush to put it back into play. Experts are just controlling the pace and tempo of the contest.
Yes, they are. As you said, they force teams into playing their style, and they have successfully manipulated the will of East Block in this contest to having to play their style. East Block has not succumbed. They've stuck with their own style, and it has not really, well, not at all, done them favors.
Popped off to Toshnarova. She's shooting deep for her sister to end it in style. Just shy. Would have been a fairy tale ending on their comeback to European competition.
Indeed it would have. I thought it was going to be.
Nice break down the line there. Dvorzhakova. Oh, the tip on the mark. Got enough of a piece to prevent it from coming back in play. They can ice it here. All the way across and picked off. A little bit of a travel afterwards as she resets her position. Good work there from Hodacheva. Now Lihotzka. Across, high grab, well stuck by Kopova. Hadova airs it out, but over the top. Again, Rahel Toshnarova is just going to take as long as she needs.
And then pick it up and sling it.
No.
Oh, look
See?
at that.
Sarah all shows too much to the wind.
That's illegal.
Catches it again. Did anyone else touch that?
I don't think so.
I guess they must have done, otherwise someone would have said something.
Maybe they didn't realize. Oh, maybe.
You've got to trust as well that if she knew that no one else has touched it, she would have said so.
Yes, true.
Pinged into the center to Kopova. Gets the disc off. Lovely blade to put it onto Lichocka. Defense getting set again to trap them.
Out of bounds.
Airing it out once more. Yeah, out of bounds, I think. You could tell quite early on where that was going to end up. Is that mysterious Ulti League van?
Pardon me.
Oh no. Just someone else. They don't advertise with us. Leave them. Good memories of 2019.
Yeah.
That one, I think that's pretty much the first drop we've seen from 3SB today. Weissever was in a great position for it and just wouldn't stick in there. Aired out across the pitch. Hardever been a shining light for East Block. Been big defensively, come up with some clutch grabs and offense as well. Had some important throws. This time she breaks around to Lichocka. Low and going to the ground. The hand's not quite set perfectly over another. This time they want to put it in quick. Zikeshkova. They're playing it so quickly. This is going to lead into the end zone, is it not quite? Just on the doorstep. And the simple 1 yard pass, the little Swedish for the victory. And 3SB with a commanding 15-3 scoreline. 3SB win VSB. They are your Vienna Spring Break 2024 Women's Division champions.
Absolute domination from top to bottom of that game, Benji. They were much more than the two sisters that were re-injected into the roster. But I will say again that those sisters gave a lot at the beginning and then gave a lot to the confidence level of this team. They swaggered their way all over the field, making plays everywhere, knowing and negating their opponent. And it is a game that will very likely put the rest of European Women's Ultimate on notice that 3SB are back.
In many ways, they never really left.
Well, that's true, but they're kind of back.
They are certainly one to watch as the season develops. Lots of games for the algorithm under their belt, and they will look to go on to bigger and better things this year. See if, who knows, can they go all the way in Europe? It's the competition is tough, but at the very least, they are going to be right at the thick end of things as the calendar develops. And that is another Vienna Spring Break in the books for you. Thank you so much for joining ULTI.TV this weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure to be back in the Austrian capital, as it always is. Despite the wind, we've had a wonderful weekend. ULTI.TV has so much more coming your way as well. We are back in action next weekend.
Next week.
Tom's tourney from Brugge. I will not be there, but I will be watching it all. Where can I watch that? Is that live and free on ULTI.TV's YouTube channel?
You better believe it, Benji. Live on YouTube for free. Log on, share the link with your friends, family, and anyone you might like.
What if I'm working during the day and I can't watch it live? Can I still catch it?
Benji, those games stay on YouTube for free.
Oh, really?
All the time. You can watch them live, which is the most fun, of course. Contribute to the chat that will stay permanently attached to the games as well, or watch it on demand. Watch it after, watch it an hour after, a day after, a month after, or a year after, or anything in between or beyond.
So how can I throw my support behind ULTI.TV?
Well, Benji, if you really love what we're doing here, first thing we ask is that you hit the like button. Very simple to do. If you really like it, hit subscribe. That helps us a lot and gives you notifications when we go live. And finally, Benji, patreon.com/ulti.tv. You can find out more about what we do. You can give as little as the amount of a coffee a month to help us out. If you'd like to give more, you can give more, but right there you can read all about it, find out exactly what our mission is, what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve, and have a little outlet to be able to support.
We greatly appreciate everyone who has thrown their weight and support behind ULTI.TV, and if everyone who is able to just chips a little bit in, ULTI.TV can keep going from strength to strength and bringing you as much Ultimate as possible. But Vienna Spring Break is done and dusted. 3SB win the women's division title 15-3 final score. On behalf of our wonderful ULTI.TV crew, Felix Shardlow, who's been the one-man camera crew all weekend and run the replays and run the stream and has just been brilliant all over the shop. The one and only Stefan Rapazzo alongside me, Benjamin Rees, signing off, saying thank you very much. We will see you on the other side when it's Tom's tourney.
Ever happened to you? Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. Make a move. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling in love. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, Milan. I mean, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.
Baby, find me some romance. I don't wanna talk tonight. I don't wanna waste another night. I just wanna hit the floor, maybe somewhere I haven't been before. I don't wanna kill the vibe, I don't wanna feel it if it don't feel right. I just wanna break the ice.